What's up, everybody? It's Broman. We're back with episode 10 already. Episode 10 of Ask Broman. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you're having fantastic days. It's a Sunday here. It is the 19th of November. It's going to be a good day today. I can feel it in my bones, deep inside of my body. If you're just tuning in for the first time and you don't know what Ask Broman is, this is a Q&A podcast focused on me helping you learn how to do shit better in your life. I've done a lot of things. I'm a Twitch streamer. I run a big charity event called Guardian Con, and I also own a coffee company. I do a lot of different random shit because I guess that's just what you need to do nowadays to get by. And I love all of it. And the most important thing to me is giving back. So that's what the point of this is. Thank you for sitting through that excruciatingly long introduction. And now we're going to get to the questions. I'm trying to see if there's anybody who's been interacting with me on Twitter in our Discord server right now, because I'd like to give those people priority because they're always pinging me and like they're clearly really interested. Let's grab this guy right here, or gal, I don't know. The screen name is Aren't You Funny, but maybe we'll find out a little bit more about who they are in a second. If they can unmute themselves, which my fingers are crossed, and they disconnected themselves. Perhaps they will be here now. Hello? Nope, still scared. All right, one last try. Hello, Aren't You Funny? Can
you hear me?
Yes, I can. Were you scared?
Hey, there we
You
go.
kept running away. You kept running out of the server.
Well, it kept popping up and saying connect to voice. So I was like, what is this? Why isn't it connected? What is this?
All right, I feel you. How are you
How
today,
you doing today, man?
I'm great. I'm
Solid.
really good. What can I do
Well,
for
I'm
you?
doing pretty solid myself.
Excellent.
Well, I guess first thing, if it's okay, I wanted to give some feedback about Streaming 101 and then kind of phase into my question, if that's okay.
Streaming one. Okay, so for those of you who are listening, Streaming 101 was a podcast series I did with my brother about streaming on Twitch. So if you needed some context for what he's about to talk about, there's your context. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so I really found the YouTube series, the Streaming 101, extremely helpful because it really kind of changed my perspective on streaming in probably the most positive way I could have imagined, because I came in and I saw these people with these cool overlays and I was like, I really need to get into that. I need to do this. And then I saw people like you and Gathalion and Jake, and I was like, okay, well, I need to do that. I need to get the best streaming PC possible. I need to do all those things. And then I think you were talking about how like the limited return on your investment kind of thing.
Yes.
And the imbalance there.
Yeah.
And that clicked with me perfectly. And I was like, that makes perfect sense. Why not just use what I already have, which is a console, and use that to stream? So thank you for that, because that and the whole monetization discussion that we continuously have on here makes a huge difference. So
good. That makes me happy to hear. I like, before you get to your question, it's so important to reiterate, like, when you're starting, it's so important to accept that you're starting and that it's
absolutely
okay that you are not, like, you shouldn't be anywhere near the production value of someone else when you're starting. If you are, it can make you come off incorrectly. Like, oh, look at this guy.
Yeah.
He has a $10,000 setup and nobody gives a shit about who this guy is. They must suck. Like, that is the process,
Absolutely. And I think that makes a huge difference as far as your approach to things, because like, I think everybody has the understanding that if you can make money off of streaming video games, that's awesome. But it's really about kind of setting up that community and getting that feel. And then if it happens organically, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that really kind of changed things for me, because I came in with a very limited understanding of Twitch. And I was just like, okay, well, I'm going to go on here, I'm going to stream. And if I get tips, cool, whatever, maybe I can make some money off of this. But then I was like, well, wait a minute. Like, is it really worth all of that extra struggle and hardship when I can just get on here and have fun and make friends which really made the biggest difference for me anyway. So
Yeah, it's excellent.
yeah. So in reference to the question, um, I really enjoyed the discussion that you and Andy had when you all were with Rex about developer relationships.
Sure, Andy Lacane, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
he
and I
was at
actually,
Microsoft, and now I forget where he's at now. I think he's
yeah,
with Discord. Actually, no, I know exactly where he is. He's with Discord now. But yeah, continue.
yeah. So he and I see a lot of the stuff that he posts, and really that discussion kind of blew things out of the water for me because I hadn't even considered the possibility of having any sort of influence with any kind of development of games or anything of that sort. I was just kind of like, okay, well, developers are going to pump out games and we'll get to give feedback by buying the game or not.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was talking about relationships with content creators, and I hadn't even considered that as a possibility.
Yeah,
So, question being, what I know you all touched on a little bit, but how would you recommend going about setting up a relationship with a developer company of sorts, and like how you would approach doing that?
sure. So I'll give you how I did it, and then I'll give you what I
Yeah,
think
please.
is a great ground floor approach. Okay. So
Please.
I suck at selling myself. I really do. Like, I know that like I'm a big and boisterous and like, but if you'll notice, okay, everyone listening, if I'm actually selling something, it's always it's like big sell and then an uncomfortable laugh, because that's how I diffuse how unbelievably unfucking comfortable I am with selling myself. And this is including shit that I believe with, like, or like this podcast, like, I think this is great, or merch that I'm producing, or a gigantic charity event. Like, I'm always a little bit uncomfortable because it's just not something I'm it's just not an awesome skill set that I have. It's not a major strength that I have. So what I did was I just didn't worry about it, and I grew my channel until the developers started coming to me, because then I feel when someone has shown interest, then I feel comfortable opening up the conversation. So
Yeah,
that's what I
absolutely.
did, and it's definitely a valid path. However, there have been some really interesting things going on lately in the gaming space. I forget the proper term for what it was called, but they're game changers. Some companies call them game changers. My brother was involved with that for Mass Effect Andromeda. And
Okay.
T, my brother, he was actually the person with the most social reach on that program. So it wasn't like the folks that were looking for the game changers for the Mass Effect Andromeda. They weren't looking for the biggest possible people. They were looking for people who were connected with their game, their franchise, and that could give meaningful feedback.
Yeah, absolutely.
So one of the best things that you can do to set yourself up is do what you normally do as a broadcaster, right? Stream games that you love. And then, believe it or not, when you're streaming a game that a developer has made on Twitch, they are interested in watching you. I know that it sounds weird, but it's 100% true. I learned this because I used to speedrun a game that was made by Digital Devolver called Broforce. And when I met them in person, I was like, "Hi, I'm Professor Broman." And the woman whose name escapes me said, "Oh, I know who you are." And I was like, "What are you? What? Like, how do you know who I am?" She's like, "You think that someone who speed runs one of our games named Broforce isn't on our radar? Please." And I was like, "Okay, all right, I got you." So that was like a wake up call to me. It doesn't. And when I was streaming Broforce, it was definitely not like pulling in the most viewership.
I gotcha.
Yeah. I'm making sure that I said the name of the developer right. No, yeah. Digital Devolver is the name of the company. Digital Devolver. So the best thing that you can do is play games that you love, interact with people in your chat, and then after you've shown interest, if you feel like selling up a little bit, interact with those developers on Twitter. Most game devs do not have massive Twitter followings. And Twitter is a great way to get in contact with them. It's also a great space to show that you're not the kind of person they're used to hearing from. It is no rumor, no hidden secret that the gaming space right now is filled with a lot of people who are very toxic and angry, and that's just all they ever put out there. If you
the whole death threat thing and all that's just crazy.
Yeah, so if you can put yourself out there, present yourself on Twitter as the kind of person who's reasonable and you care about their game and you want to hear their side and you want to work with them, it's going to put you in a position to work with them long term, regardless of what your size is, because folks always want informed feedback. And if they know that you're very committed to their game or their franchise, it's not hard for them to tap you to get input.
That makes sense. Yeah, because I know that I want to say when Andy had talked about it, and granted, this was a while ago.
Yeah, so it was a few years ago, a couple years ago.
Yeah, because I know he was talking about how they had developers had really been researching into kind of creating new roles to be a liaison kind of between developers and content creators. And then he was talking about reaching out to people via email or going on the developers' websites or something along those lines. And I realized that I had no clue how to navigate any of that. So what you're talking about with Twitter makes perfect sense, because then that's something that's easily accessible and can easily be filtered.
Yep.
And then they can also see a lot of your content instead of just saying, oh, hey, here's a random cold email.
Yeah,
Enjoy.
they can see all of your tweets too. Like, it takes them 1 second to go through your timeline. And this is why I'm a big believer in keeping your timeline clean. Like, try not to pop off at people and stuff. Because, if you're trying to have an open and honest conversation with somebody, they click on your Twitter and they scroll back through the past 5 days that you've been on Twitter. And, oh, look, 2 days ago, this person was being a piece of shit. Okay, conversation over.
Right.
That's why anytime I've ever really popped off on Twitter, I have also publicly apologized on Twitter, because if you talk shit, you also need to be able to eat crow when it's time to apologize.
Absolutely.
And that was, that's a lot of times I've been told, like, well, there's no need to make a public apology or whatever. But in my mind, like, if you go out there publicly and you say some shit, you start some shit, you should also apologize publicly, because it shows humility. It shows the kind of person you are long term. It shows your ability to say, like, the ability to admit that you are wrong is becoming an increasingly rare skill in the world. Right. So the ability to say, hey, I was wrong in front of a few thousand people is a pretty solid skill set. And it does, I think it speaks very loudly to character, no matter who you are.
Absolutely. That's one of the things that I do all the time. I'm like, look, I'm completely ignorant when it comes to this, so whatever, but I'm going to put this out there and let that be what it is. And if I'm wrong, cool, I'll learn from it. So
it's a great attitude to have.
Thanks.
Yeah, that attitude will take you a long way. So other than interacting with folks on Twitter, and again, you mentioned it, but you didn't quite go there. If you're trying to find lists of folks that are working on the games, you can just literally Google the name of the game and then the person you want to get in contact with, and you'll probably find what you want.
Cool. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes perfect sense.
Sweet, dude. You got any follow-ups for me? Anything else?
I'm trying to think. I feel like that covered the majority of it. And I guess, really a lot of the other questions I would have asked have already been covered, like, how you ran into management teams, how you ran into all those people. But it sounds like you just kind of, did your thing, and then those people approached you.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if you have any specific questions about that, I'm more than happy to, just because I've talked about it before doesn't mean I've talked about it in the context you wanted to hear. So don't worry about asking a repeat question if you really want to know. I'm here.
Yeah, I guess maybe you could talk a little bit about your experience of running it. I mentioned Amy several times just because I wasn't sure. Or was it Amy? No, not Amy. I'm sorry. Your manager. The one that
Audrey is my account rep at OPG. Yeah.
Right. So, how you ran into people like that and how you established those relationships and started to have those conversations with people. So, I mean, I'm really small, but at some point, eventually I might grow.
I think that over time, organization, like what OPG is doing is very bleeding edge. Okay. taking on management of content creators and providing representation for them is really good. It's a smart business move to put yourself right there. There's a lot of money that is about to be made in the gaming space, and positioning yourself as an intermediary to make sure everybody's getting a fair shake is a smart move. And I think other people are going to start following suit with other companies that are similar. But how I got with them in particular, well, it's an interesting story, and I don't think I've shared that. I stream with another person that you probably know. His name's Corey, or King Gathalion, and they actually approached him first, and they started talking with him first, and he set up a relationship with them, and then after 8 months of me being like, "Listen, when are you gonna hook me up with these people? When are you gonna hook me up with these people?" Because I'm very patient unless I see something and I'm like, "This is big." If it feels like a game changer to me, I don't want to get in late. I want to be in early as I possibly can.
Absolutely.
So, the relationship that I built over a very long time with someone who's one of my closest friends and that I, now own a couple of businesses with, that relationship is what led to me working with them, which just speaks to the importance of, always networking, always working with people who share your values, no matter what space you're in, because if you do good by people, if somebody puts them on, they're going to turn around and put you on as well.
Absolutely. Definitely that organic relationship like you've been talking about, let things happen as they will, and, just make friends, build relationships, and build it and they will come.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, man.
Cool.
Well, it was great talking with you, dude. I wish you nothing but success
great talking with you.
in the future. Would you like to shout your stuff out to folks?
Sure. If people are interested in finding me, that's perfectly cool. It's Aren't You Funny? So it's ARENTUFUNNY. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter. I just made an Instagram that's Aren't You Funny TV.
Smart. Okay. You're still in the wheelhouse, man. You're good.
Absolutely. No numbers, no underscores.
You nailed it.
And then I've also got a private Facebook group, but you can still search it. Aren't You Funny Twitch supporters?
Huh.
So,
all right, man. I like it. You're everywhere. You're set up, man. Now it's about executing, getting out there and doing the stuff.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, man.
Anytime, dude. Nothing but success going forward for you, bro. I hope to hear great things in the future. Have a good one.
Thanks. You too, man.
All right, dude. That's good, man. I like that. I've never really talked about how I got in contact with my management team before, but that's the story. I mean, it's just like there's so many tiny little threads that end up spinning together, like coincidences and things like that. But when you look at like the fundamental of all of it, all these coincidences are, at least for me, have always been the result of a lot of hard work and focus on like core ideas, like, networking, doing good for people, making friends with people who I agree with, like things like that. Like all of that created the serendipity, right? Or engineered it, that led me to finally working with the management team that works with me. So doing the right thing over the long term produces more opportunity for you. It's always interesting. I love it so much. Thinking back on stuff like that just blows my mind. It's crazy. All right, let's get another guy in here. Gamers Utopia is the name. We will find out. Let's find out what Gamers Utopia would like to talk about. How are you, sir or madam?
Hey.
Hello, how are you?
Thank you so much. Hey, how are you?
I'm great, man.
That was surprised. That's really surprised me.
No, that's fine, dude. It should be surprising.
I'm really excited, man. Like, I was really looking forward to talk with you.
Awesome.
Question. Yep. Hey, I did it. Yep, I did it.
What can I do for you?
So, I don't have a million questions.
That's fine. That's fine.
Like, I have maybe two questions. One is like, I won't say started, but I have been for 3 months streaming.
Great.
Really, really slow. Really slow.
Sure.
Literally streaming for myself.
That's
I'm
fine.
gonna ask you, like, what's the problem? Is it like me? Is it the stream? Because really, I don't have that high end equipment, like full HD streaming, whatever. I'm just streaming from my console, Xbox One is.
Yeah.
And just doing it because it's fun, because I love video games. Like everyone loves video games, and like I want to share my experience within the game.
Huh. Okay. Well, so you've been streaming for 3 months, you said? And it's just like nobody's showing up?
Yep.
Is that basically the situation?
Months, yes.
Yeah, okay. So, well, first of all, you're not doing anything wrong, okay? Just on the face of it, just don't assume lack of presence from other people means that you're doing something wrong. It doesn't. The things that you might be able to work on as far as increasing your exposure, you might just need to be doing a little bit more research to be putting yourself in positions where folks can find you, if that makes sense. So what sort of games have you been streaming?
So I have this concept that I can main a game and I can play variety of games.
Sure.
So I main Gigantic,
Sure.
played, and the problem is the community of Gigantic is like really, really small, and eventually the game now is like almost gonna
Yeah, now they're shutting it down, aren't they?
they shut me to go, yeah, the developer. So like I really like the game, so I'm still playing it, I don't care. But I played like Assassin's Creed, Destiny. I've started to play Destiny. Actually, yesterday was my birthday, so I bought myself a Destiny. So like
I gotcha.
have fun. And yeah, variety of games, whatever I have, whatever I get from Xbox Live Gold, whatever I can find, I play games. Like I love them. Like anything is cool with me.
Yeah. Okay. So one of the best things that you can do when you're trying to position yourself for discoverability, because you have the commitment, obviously, if you've been doing this for as long as you have with
a schedule or
with no, I mean, you seem committed. Like if you've been streaming consistently for 3 months, like you're there on the consistency side. You just need a little bit of help figuring out how to help people find you. Okay. And then some patience. But one of the things that you mentioned that I thought was interesting is Xbox does like a new games with gold thing like every month, don't they?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Have you thought about like making the day that those launch like a games with gold focus type of thing? Like you could be like, oh, like this month we can play these 2 games and they just launched today. So like, come into my channel, let's all check them out together and see if they're worth it or something. Like it's a little bit of built-in advertising on the platform. And then the other thing that you can do, and I've recommended this a lot, and I will admit I literally stole this idea from Omid, who's one of the guys at OPG who talked about this a couple of weeks ago on their podcast. But if you look at game charts and you see which games are high selling, those are the games that people are looking to purchase. And Twitch is a part of some people's purchase decisions, right? So you got to, look at those numbers, see what's available on Xbox, things like that. And then go look at Twitch and see which games are not well represented. Like if there's a game that's number 6 on the Xbox sales charts, no one is streaming it on Twitch, that might be a good opportunity for you.
I see you. I see the point of this. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're positioning yourselves. You're positioning yourself as part of the the feedback or the funnel for the consumer purchase decision. And so, yeah, like you're sort of hacking that a little bit, but it's putting people in your channel that you have the opportunity to interact with and then, establish some long-term rapport and growth with them. So that's the answer to the first question, or that's what I got for you there.
Yeah, because like some people came, like you can know that someone came to channel,
exactly.
but no one stick enough to like hook you up with a follow or like to talk in the chat, or some people just talk and like go. But I thought that's my problem. It's like something with my voice. Maybe my voice is like they don't like my voice because I don't stream with the camera, of course. Like
sure.
Voice.
I have a question for you. You clearly have a question for you. You have an accent, yeah. What is your first language?
It's Arabic.
So have you considered streaming in your first language?
No.
Why not?
I think we have in my Arabic culture people like they really love video gaming, but they're gonna be secret, and then no one will gonna be like games and like no one gonna be proud of it.
Sure.
I mean,
my feeling of it. Okay, so you have two potential perspectives on that. Is one, yeah, that's the way things are for sure, but two, there are other people like you, that, you know, have your first language and like games. And I feel like if you were to stream in Arabic and say, you know, like this, because you can set your language section on stream. Hey, I'm streaming in Arabic. I think you would be very surprised at how many people might find you just from that. And I know that that might be like a little, it sounds like that might be a little uncomfortable for you. And there's some cultural barriers that you're concerned about. But if you wanted my honest opinion about the number one thing you could probably do to increase your discoverability, it would be that. Honestly.
You advise me like to go and do it in my native language rather than go it in English.
Yeah, I absolutely would. I totally would, because there's like, that's the thing, is that everybody on Twitch speaks English, right? But some of the biggest channels on Twitch, some of the most successful channels on Twitch are just foreign language channels. And one of the biggest draws that they have is not everybody speaks English. So if you're operating a stream in French, let's say, and you're the only French broadcaster on at that time, everybody who is on Twitch that speaks French is going to have you prioritized on their viewer list. So the fact that you have this massive asset of being able to speak, speak Arabic, that's your first language, and you have this passion for games, and as you said earlier, it's an underrepresented space because there's some cultural pressure. If you can decide, like, I don't care, I want to share my love with games, my love of games with people in my culture, like you're set up for an opportunity to make a big difference and to show people in your culture that this is fine and normal, alongside of generating success for yourself, because everybody who speaks Arabic that has access to Twitch would probably love to go somewhere and play video games or interact with a community that's primarily communicating in their first language.
I understand. I see that. Actually, I never saw this point of view. That's why I came here to ask you. Like, I may do that. Can I mix it together? Can I like mix?
Absolutely. Yeah. No. One of my favorite broadcasters when I started on Twitch, his name was Mr. MV. He's a French broadcaster. He used to do speed runs and a whole bunch of other stuff, but he would operate his channel. He had a couple of ways that he would do things. So he would do bilingual sometimes, where he would, you can just chat with whatever you want, right? You can use English, you can do whatever. And then he would do English streams and he would do French streams. So that was sort of his flavor and his take on it. But I feel like, and this is my personal opinion, and you would need to sort of do some experimenting on your channel, I feel like the greatest return for you would probably come from just saying, this is in Arabic. Like, that's this channel. Like, we interact in Arabic. Because if people want to interact in English, they already have a crap ton of places to do that. If they want to go on Twitch and interact with folks in Arabic, they don't have a space for that. Or they might have a very small space that you can become a very big part of.
I'm gonna be like a unique streamer. I stream in Arabic, and like, you want to chill, you want to have fun, enjoy a game with your own native language. You don't need to speak English with an accent, or like,
exactly.
Don't know really good English, so you're only gonna watch. You can't even communicate within the chat or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you just open it up. Like, I think that there might be a lot of people. I mean, I know for a fact, because gaming's a huge hobby, that there are plenty of people like yourself that speak Arabic as a first language, and they probably are on Twitch, and they would probably love to be able to interact. Because there's one of the things that I did before Twitch was ESL, English as a second language education. And we learned a lot about, the cultural impact of language and the importance of it. And as much as a second language can be beautiful and special to you, there is just nothing like communicating about something in your first language with someone. And so providing a space for people to do that in Arabic, it would be huge.
Yeah, I love English, and I'm really good at it. I think, but
yeah, your English is great.
Thank you. But of course, my native language will be easier for me. This is where I speak with my family, with my brother, with my everyone. I mean,
Yeah.
my close cycle will be like, we speak Arabic because this is our native. Like, we don't speak English.
Mm-hmm.
So I see your point. Like, a really good point, Professor.
You can just call me Ben.
Thank you, Mr. Ben. The question won't take long because it's about networking also. Because
Sure,
I want to grow
sure.
the channel.
So, one more question.
And,
Love it.
Grow the channel, and like you talked about networking with other streamer, and actually a couple of streamer that came in this episode. One of them, Needles. I don't remember the name.
Yeah,
but she was really cute with me.
Yeah,
followed me back, and she was,
Nerd and
"Thank you,"
Needle.
and
She does the creative stuff.
She's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
She's amazing.
She does
And
great
like,
creative
I
stuff.
like the concept. Yeah, I like the concept of like networking, but say like, don't go and be pushy. Don't be like, go and follow me back, raid
Yes.
me, go host me. But at the same time, if you know Gary V, he always say like, go on Instagram. If you have a market, you have something you wanna like network with, like, go and ask people, like, tell them like, hey, I do this
Yes.
thing, like, can you please support me? But I found the conflict in it. What should I do? Should I do the
Sure.
Gary thing? Should I be pushy?
Sure, yeah.
Should
So
I
I like Gary V too a lot. But
He's
there is
amazing.
yeah, I know I follow him pretty closely. He's dead on point for a lot of things. Twitch is a unique ecosystem. Okay. Unlike Instagram or something else where you don't really have a public face where you are, you're contacting all these people in DMs and things like that. And would that system work on Twitch, just constantly hammering people, hey, come check out my stream, check out my stream, check out my stream? You also have to realize that when you're communicating, the medium is important. And on Twitch, like unlike Instagram or Facebook or anywhere else, people will just be like, spam. On Twitch, people will remember your name and go, this was the guy that was spamming me all the time. There's no way I'm going to check him out. And you might get a couple of people to check you out or something like that. But I think that on Twitch, it's very social and there's a long game to it. So the one differentiation I would make, I guess I have two thoughts. One, if you start streaming in Arabic, everyone that you need to network with is going to come straight to you. Like they will come, they'll be, oh God, this guy's streaming in Arabic. I'm going to be there, and who knows, within a couple of months, all the Arabic speaking people who broadcast on Twitch, whether they broadcast as in English, or they broadcast other places, they'll probably know who you are. And then from that built relationship, you can start having a dialogue. Yeah. You gotta understand that as much as the difference between trying to get your stuff out there, like if it's a product, and trying to get yourself out there as a person is just a little bit of a different sell. So hard selling yourself. Like if you don't give a fuck about what anyone thinks, like that's great. But ultimately on Twitch, like you need to give a little bit of a fuck because you have an image that you have to keep up. And if everybody knows you as the guy that constantly begs for raids, no one is ever going to send their viewers to your channel. But
did that? I have never did that.
No, that's good. That's fine. That's I didn't think you had. Like you were just trying to understand the conflict of ideas. So this is my recommendation, right? The way that you ask is you become a good member of a community, right? Like people start seeing you in chat, they recognize you, right? And then over time, like they get, they're comfortable with you. It doesn't take a long time. If you're active in a bunch of chats, people know who you are quickly. And then they'll see you broadcasting one day and they're like, oh, I'm going to go check you out. Like there are ways to go about it that aren't the hard sell. And I just, maybe Twitch will change in a couple of years, but right now the hard sell on Twitch is a great way to get yourself ignored permanently.
I got you, Professor.
Yeah. So if you're out there hustling and you like what you're doing and you like what you have, you're going to generate your own buzz and people are going to find you. I'm personally super excited about the concept of seeing what you do with broadcasting in Arabic as your first language and seeing how well that goes for you. Like that's intriguing to me. You have a lot of really interesting things going on for you. And I think going around and trying to like hustle and hard sell yourself on Twitch isn't really the best move.
Started networking with my close friends, like, hey, I have this Twitch channel, and like they don't know Twitch, but like, hey, go just and hit me with a follow, and like I will appreciate it 100%. And like I started, I don't know, it's like a person between me and me, like face to face, because I work in volunteering activities, and like I meet a lot of people.
Yeah,
as I go volunteer and like community. So that's one section. The other section, is it okay? Because I have a couple of streamers who like they want to do an emote, and I can do that. I design. I work on Photoshop, and I'm really good designer. So like I'm telling them like, hey, I'll do it for you for free. It's okay.
Yeah,
no problem.
No, all of
So,
that,
like,
all of that stuff, that's awesome. The fact that you have this big social network of people you can interact with is huge too. I think honestly, those in-person relationships that you have are probably a more fruitful way to start getting your channel out there and getting your numbers up than just blind calling people on Twitch. That's how my channel started. It was me and 3 or 4 of my normal real life non-internet friends. We were all just hanging out and talking. So you have a great setup. I think you just need to start like a little bit of reorientation. Maybe if you're doing that Xbox Games of the Month thing, and then you're broadcasting in Arabic, which is going to be an interesting draw for you. And then you start maybe being a little bit more open with your friends and family. Like, hey, this is something that I do. Do you like video games too? Like, come hang out. Like, it'll be fun. That might generate some more return for you up front and give you that little bit of traction that you need to continue growing. I think you're in a great space, honestly, and you have a great opportunity in front of you. I hope that you take it.
I hope so. Yeah. Well, the syrup thing is like the problem. Like I stream from the Xbox, and like I really have shitty mic, so.
I mean, as long as your microphone sounds fine right now. So if you
That's the problem.
Your authenticity is going to shine through. Like your passion for games and your thoughtfulness for the content that you want to make is so apparent. You just need to start doing it in a little bit of a different way that's more authentic to you. Like, don't try and be someone else. Don't try and be someone who's
That's
like
true. That's
yeah
true.
Just be you. And part of who you are is you speak Arabic, and that is going to connect with a lot of people. If I spoke a second language, I can guarantee you that would be a huge part of my structure for how I ran my Twitch channel.
I would love to see you speak Arabic, Doctor.
Oh, I one day, man, maybe, who knows?
I teach also Arabic, so like I'm free for you, man.
If I ever need to learn, all right. If I ever need to learn, I will hit you up. Can I ask you to shout yourself out? Let everybody know where to find you.
I'm on Twitch, twitch.tv Gamers Utopia. Just
Gamers
normal
Utopia.
Gamers
Okay.
Utopia. And in Instagram also Gamers Utopia. Twitter also. Facebook. Yeah.
Everywhere. So you're all
everything
you're,
is like
you're
Gamers
set up
Utopia.
everywhere.
Solid.
Yeah.
Solid.
It's good to go, man. I would I'm looking forward to seeing what you do in the future, and I'd love to follow up with you in like a few months, have you back on and see how things are going and see if we can't.
I hope so. You helped me. You made me start to stream, because streaming one-on-one, and like I was so motivated. Like, hey, I can play games and people watch me, because that's all I want. I want a community. I want people to watch me play, talk with them, even 3 people. I don't care. And I would be like, I'm
your
done.
attitude is
I don't need
on
anything.
point, and I think it's going to take you really far, man. I love it.
Thank you so much.
Anytime, bro. You have a good day, dude. And I'll talk
Thank
to you.
you. You made my day. You made my day. Thank you.
You made mine, bro.
See you, man. See you.
See you later.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye, dude. Oh my God. That was incredible. Fuck. I'm really excited for him. So that's it's Gamers Utopia. All right. Everywhere. I would not be surprised if he became, like one of the top Arabic speaking content creators If he's correct in his analysis of there not being a lot of gaming content created with Arabic as the primary language, the market space is literally wide open, and he can just run in there and take all of it. That is absolutely incredible. He's worth your follow. Oh my God, his passion, man, you could feel it. You could feel how much he loves games. That was unfucking real. I love talking to people like that. Oh my God, that was great stuff. All right, we are going to get this guy. This is Dark Chronicle 13. We will wait as they unmute. That is just Gamers Utopia. Again, thank you very much. I wish you nothing but success. Dark Chronicle 13, bud. I hope you can unmute. If not, I will grab someone else. And most likely, that would make you sad. I think that he is not available. Oh, up. There it is. Hello. Hi, what's up, my friend?
Nothing much. I was not expecting this. I'm like, wait, what? So I'm like, crap, phone, don't fuck up on me now.
Yeah, no, it's all good, bro. It's all good. What can I do for you?
Actually, on the subject of your podcast 101, because I actually do have definitely like at least two. So I'm going to try to make this quick. So
Streaming 101. That's fine, man. We got nothing but time.
That was actually kind of like my first introduction to you and T.
Sure.
And I really do appreciate what you guys did with that video, because that definitely helped spur me to try to not only broadcast more, but actually think more about how I would want to promote my channel and do more with it.
Sure.
So that was fucking great. And one thing you guys mentioned in there, which is actually a lead into my first question, was that, you know, people was always talking about wanting to make sure, like, get their voice out there and just kind of comfortability and all that. And it kind of spoke to a problem I didn't even think I had. I'm like, damn, like, how do I go not being like a copy of people? Because I'm a loud and obnoxious idiot.
Gotcha.
But in a tame environment, I'm kind of very chill and relaxed. So, you know, just how would I go about finding my voice, getting like comfortable about just talking on the mic and just making sure I'm interacting with chat properly and things like that. I don't know if that's a question you can help me out with, but
no,
you know,
I mean, there's some best practices to unlocking that, right? Getting comfortable with yourself is a really, really long process, right? Like it's awesome. It's crazy. Like, so it's such a two-edged sword, right? Like it's such an awesome thing that the more you learn how to know yourself, the more the greater the quality of the content you put out is, and just like the better person you are in general, right? Because you know who you are.
I like to think I'm a good person.
Yeah. So one of the big things for me was, and it took me a while of like just streaming. And then, you know, when I was done, there would usually be one or two moments from my stream that would stick in my mind that day. Sometimes they were great and sometimes they were real shitty. Or I would feel like, man, I handled that situation in a shitty way, or I thought through this situation in a really shitty way. And
yeah, I tend to be like, damn, I sound annoying right now. I should stop.
Oh, no. Wait, come take the journey with me. Okay. So this, this thought process, this self-reflection on what I was doing helped me identify things that I was doing that actually represent who I am. And then shit that I was doing that was either like, you know, like, I don't know, I acted that way because I got treated like shit when I was in high school, or like, you know, something with my parents or something with my family and friends or whatever. And I let that experience inform the way that I was supposed to handle this other situation, when really, like, I wasn't handling it the way I wanted to at all. I was just doing what I thought I was supposed to do. So self-analysis, right, is key. And as far as getting comfortable with your own voice, I would find a way for whatever microphone that you're using to introduce TalkBack into your own headset. Because the more you hear your voice, the more you get used to it. You have a unique voice. Okay. And that's a good thing.
Thank you.
Unique is good. If you sound like everyone else, it fucking sucks. It doesn't matter if you sound like, you know, Gilbert Godfrey or James Earl Jones. Like, they are on both sides of the spectrum, okay? But their voices are unique. They're instantly identifiable, so it's an asset. So if your problem is you just don't love the way that you sound, you just need to listen to yourself all the fucking time. I'm a big fan of immersion therapy when it comes to that. If you hear yourself all the time, you'll get the fuck over it. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's certainly going to help out a lot. I do have a bit of a follow-up question if I have the time for that.
You have nothing, but you got plenty of time, bro.
It's more of a, hey, do you think this is a good idea? Because it's like, I've seen people come into your channel and stuff like this, and they mention something, and you're like, okay, well, how about if you do this and that thing? And I'm like, damn, like, that's a good fucking idea. So one of the things that I do have in mind for my channel is I've heard many people say like, oh, being a variety streamer is not a very good idea, and this, that, and the other, and nobody.
It's a great idea. It's just a long road.
Right, and you know what? I know that's a long road, so I've already got myself wrapped around that ideal.
Excellent.
Because I'm a gamer and I can't really regulate myself to just one. I have games that I can play for hours on end, like The Binding of Isaac and Super Hot. I love those games, so I can just play those mindlessly. But a lot of my broadcast here that I'm going to be doing soon is going to be dedicated to like first times, and by that I mean, like, for example, I've only played the first like 15 minutes of Skyrim.
Sure.
I've never finished it.
Never been a better time to play Skyrim.
I've never played any of the what's that called? Fuck. I've never played any of the Wolfensteins.
Sure.
And it's kind of like building up to The Witcher 3 because that was a game I looked the most forward to. I only played a little bit of that, and I'm like, this game is too beautiful. It needs my proper time, so I'll probably do like a full playthrough of that one, all 140 hours of it.
Gotcha.
So I have a long list of games that I'm going to play and experience it because I saw when you did Warframe for the first time, you were like, everybody's like, oh, is that your first time playing it? Dude, that's going to be fucking awesome. So people kind of living vicariously through you through your first time. So I'm like, is that a sound idea? Like, am I reaching for the stars here? Like,
no, I mean, no, not at all. People love, nostalgia is a huge part of Twitch, right? Mm-hmm. And there's appropriate and inappropriate times to sort of access that. Like, if you're a big fan of retro games, there's probably not a better time for you to play retro games than right before or right after Awesome Games Done Quick or Summer Games Done Quick. Right now, since Skyrim just released on PSVR and on the Switch, there's probably never been a better time for you to stream Skyrim on Twitch in a few years. So part of it is about understanding the market trend, right? Reading Twitch a little bit. But everybody loves watching somebody have a first experience in a game because that's something we don't get. If you've experienced something the first time, you're done. The only way you can even get close to that feeling is watching somebody else go through that. Mm-hmm. So it's a fantastic idea. You just need to figure out the best way to present it. Or the best times to present it. And that's just a little bit of hard work, a little bit of data, a little bit of watching.
Well, ever since I watched that podcast of yours for I think that was 2 years ago.
Yeah,
that's literally been nothing else. That's the only thing I've ever thought of. It's like, okay, thank you for that advice. So now let's do something with this. So now I'm like, okay, well, because I know you said getting a PC and stuff like that isn't 100%. It's
not
important.
A huge priority, but everything helps.
Not really. And watching that video, need all that. I'm like, you don't? I mean, I want to get it eventually just to kind of so I can do more things and all that. So
yeah,
doing that, but watching all these console streamers just do everything. Like my friend, she actually just started broadcasting on Mixer, and she's been just doing just fine with it. So I'm like, good for you. But yeah, thank you. That was definitely something that I needed to hear. I really do appreciate it.
Oh, anytime, man. Go out there and get it, dude. I believe you got great ideas. You just need to have a little bit more, you need to have the confidence to start trying things.
Well, I got a good group of people that can hopefully help me out with that.
Well, fuck yeah, then, man. If you've got support from people who are close to you, you have every advantage in the world right now.
I do actually, and I'm pretty sure he's actually still in the chat. So if I may, Levy, Dill,
you can shout him out and shout out all your stuff as well, my friend. Before you go,
he pretty much helped me get here. I was like, how do I get on Expert? And he's like, you can just join the Discord. I'm like, what? So he actually got me in there the other day, and
Sweet.
Here I am today. So Thanks, Levy. I really appreciate it, man.
Pretty cool.
But yeah, bro, man, I
And for
appreciate
you,
everything.
where can folks find? I don't want you to leave without telling everyone where they can find you. Where can they find you, my friend?
It is Dark Chronicle 13. I know numbers make me easier to find, but I've had that for years. It is Dark Chronicle 13 at our twitch.tv, Dark Chronicle 13.
Okay.
You can also find me on Twitter at Dark Chronicle 13. I don't do too much on there just yet, but I look to doing more. And you can also find me on YouTube at Dark Chronicle 13.
Fantastic. All right, Dark Chronicle 13. Thank you very much, man. You have a good one.
Thank you, sir. You too.
Appreciate you, dude. It's scary, man. Like, I get it. I get like the whole idea of starting is always scary, but it's so worth it to start doing so that you don't end up being, like paralyzed by choice. Like so many people feel like there's so many options out there. And until you start hacking away at it and eliminating options, Dark Chronicles, he had like an awesome idea, right? His idea is great. First playthroughs are awesome. And I'm excited to see how that goes for him. And especially right now, like Skyrim just came out. There's like literally never a better time to play Skyrim. Like it just came out, award-winning franchise. Everybody loved it. It's good. It's exciting. So exciting. All right. I think we have time for one more. So let's grab this guy. He's been in like every single time. Satcom.
Hello there, Broman.
Hi, Satcom. What's up?
Oh my god, I'm currently streaming. I was literally just sitting here, like, I was streaming, and I am streaming, and I'm like, let me just hop in this Discord, and let's just try my luck. And, okay.
Well, exciting.
Yeah, I'm here, live on the air.
All right. Well, that's me too. So what can I do for you, man?
So, obviously, as I just said, I'm streaming. I'm, like, a really, really new streamer.
Sure.
And so, I used to have, like, a channel on YouTube. And I got to around 3,000 subs.
Solid.
But I don't know if you know the song like Galantis. It's like You and I. It was like a popular song like a couple of years ago. Yeah. Basically, I had all of that on my outro and intro, and basically I had that when it wasn't copyrighted. So when it became popular, they just shit on my channel.
Exactly.
And
sure.
my channel got shut down.
Oh.
So yeah. So now obviously I'm streaming on Twitch. And my main question is like how, I suppose, like what's like the number like one tip that you would give to someone coming from YouTube platform being able to edit everything you do. If you mess up, you can just say, oh, I don't want to do that, going into a completely live platform, I suppose. Because I'm just scared I'm going to screw up, and that's there forever for everyone to see.
It is okay to make mistakes, and you need to embrace them instead of fight them. Right. That would be my piece of advice for your for your concern specifically. Right.
Yeah.
Being able to edit out all the moments in a game when you aren't playing, like a superstar, being able to edit yourself so that every joke you tell is funny, being able to edit yourself so you never stop talking. All that stuff is awesome for YouTube. But part of what makes Twitch great is that you get to see everything. So the more you can embrace the kind of everything mentality that Twitch has, your failures, your great moments, the better, at least mentally, you'll be able to handle everything better. I used to beat myself up all the time. I'd be like, God, if I just played like shit today and blah, 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 and I had a horrible time. And then, I'm like, all right, guys, I'm logging off for the day. And everyone in chat's like, bro, man, it was super fun to watch you suck dick all day today. It was awesome. It reminds me that I'm not alone and all that stuff. Like there's positives to everything. Even playing poorly or telling shitty jokes. And I would just focus on those things. Focus on learning how to accept all of your failures and all of the things that are sub-perfect. If that, that's it. Like, that's how you win on Twitch is because sometimes you're still going to have all those awesome moments. Like, those aren't going anywhere. But learning how to embrace the less than awesome moments is going to be probably the hardest thing for you to do as a YouTuber. Or as a person in general. Like, that's just a fucking hard thing to do. Except the fact that we aren't perfect sometimes.
Okay, I fucked up. I'm not as good as I thought I was.
Yeah.
Because like right now, I'm primarily I primarily play Destiny. I used to play like Call of Duty and stuff.
Sure.
And I like hit a barricade. I'm like 305 and all of my characters. And
Yeah.
obviously, I suppose you can understand more than any because I watch your streams day in day out at university, and I can
Mhm.
understand that like you probably get bored of just sitting there grinding public events. And I'm like moving over to Fortnite now because it's like a game that I'm not really good at, but
Sure.
I suppose I want to like save, like, so all of my VODs are being saved from now. So like when I go ahead and look back on myself in a year's time, I can be like, wow, I was absolute trash.
Yeah. Historically recording all of your stuff is a good move. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, like, and we had this conversation on stream a few times, and I'm always okay to revisit it. But, you know, Destiny's community, you know, and the game in itself to, you know, kind of grow your channel on it has changed over time. You know, it's kind of got sequelitis right now. So I was going to recommend, but you already started doing it. You know, you're checking out other games, you're branching out, and I would highly recommend that. Stuff that's FPS or shooter, you know, related is probably going to do really well for you because it's what your audience is used to seeing. So I would keep pursuing that and chase down anything in that space that you think is really interesting.
Yeah, because like well, what it was is like I suppose I used to play PUBG and I got like really good at it, but then
Yeah.
I haven't got like the best PC in the world. So when I try and stream it in game, I'm only getting like 40 or 50 FPS.
Yeah, exactly. And so
I
a
can't
little bit of
play,
technological
like, anything.
limitation.
Yeah.
I feel you, man. It's tough stuff, but at the end of the day, what's going to shine through and what keeps people on your channel is your personality, your interaction, your take on things. So as much as technological limitations and hardware problems from the king of hardware problems himself, me, as much as those suck, if you can learn to fight through that and keep a positive attitude, it's going to take you a long way.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, I see everyone do it because like whenever I'm on the way to university, I always listen to your podcast. Rather, I get it up on YouTube and use all my data up, or
You should download that shit on Wi-Fi, bro. You don't know, using up all your data on me, but thank you.
But yeah, I'm rather doing that, and I'm always like listening to these new problems, and they're so like out of ordinary. And then I've just got this one problem that's like probably really easily fixable. Just simply get used to being a screw up. But I've been listening to people. I'm like, wow. They say like, wow, my perspective has changed. I'm like, come on, you knew that, but you've just told me something, and I'm like, oh wow, you've changed my perspective.
Oh well, I mean, it is like it's the importance of having honest feedback, right? Like that's one of the reasons why I love doing this is that when we're looking at other people's problems, sometimes it's really easy for us to see what's wrong and what they could change. But when we're looking at ourselves, sometimes it's really difficult. So you sort of need somebody that's going to be there for you and give you some honest feedback, or maybe a different approach, because no single one of us is so perfectly correct all the time that we don't need input. You know, I used to think that was a possibility and that I was that person, you know, when I was growing up, when I was very rash and young and thought I understood everything in the universe. But like, perspective is king. And the more perspective you can get, the more honest perspective from people who know what the fuck they're talking about, you can get, the quicker you'll be able to improve whatever you're pursuing.
Wow.
Yeah. So I would say, I mean, like you got me, you know, obviously, but I would, you know, try and find some folks in your life that you also trust to give you that kind of feedback, that know what they're talking about. And that'll help you immensely going forward because they'll be an easy to access resource for you.
Yeah, because like yesterday, like I started, I suppose, like I streamed for like an hour and a half. I did like the raid. We're just like I literally just got some random people, did the raid and streamed it.
Sweet.
And like one guy came into my stream and he like it was the first time I've actually had like a proper interaction with someone, and it made me just feel like so warm and fuzzy inside.
Feels so fucking good, doesn't it? Yeah. It's like
he
fucking
stopped by,
drugs,
he was like, congrats.
man.
He was like, congrats.
It's like,
and I was like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
it
made me so happy.
It's cool. I still remember my first viewer. Talked about him a few times on the podcast. Yeah. Black Ryan 44. If you're out there, I love you. But yeah, man, I mean, that's what I got for you. Do you want to let everybody know where they can find you?
So on Twitter, it's at Satcom36.
Okay.
That's SATCOM. And on Twitch, it's at Satcom36, the same thing. I haven't really I know I've been listening to like branch out to Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat and all this stuff. I haven't really done that yet. But those are the two main platforms.
All
where
all that advice is, of course, like branch out there so you can get your stuff out there. But it's also like it needs to become part of your tool belt as for content creation. So it's okay if you're taking time to get out there, but keep learning, keep pushing forward for sure on all that other stuff.
Thank you so much for taking my questions and taking the time out of your day.
Anytime, man.
I've been a huge fan since year one of Destiny 1, and I can't believe it's surreal that I'm speaking to you. I'm gonna watch back this because I'm streaming right now.
Yeah,
it's gonna be on the VOD. I'm gonna look back and I'm gonna look at your face.
Be on YouTube, so stupid. Everywhere. Listen to yourself on the podcast. You can tell your friends listen to me. It'll be awesome. Thank you very much, my man. I wish you nothing but success in the future. And yeah, I'll be watching for you. You keep me informed as to the status of how things are going for you. All right.
Thank you, man. You have a nice day.
All right, you too, bro.
Thank you.
What a nice guy. What a nice guy. Satcom. What a nice guy. Well, there you go, guys. That wraps it up today. Really awesome conversations. Every time I do this, I really expect oh man, all right. I don't know. My expectation going in is oh God, I hope people have questions to ask. But you all have such unique perspectives and you're in such unique places. And I am honored by the fact that you would come into the channel, you'd come participate in this, and I really appreciate it. And I hope that I have been able to add some value to your lives. Whether you're listening, asking questions, I appreciate you. If you're listening on any of the podcast platforms, please rate, subscribe, all that stuff. Share with your grandma, share with your dog. Share with the bowl of cereal you have every morning. I would super appreciate it. No matter what you do, I'm just glad you spent time with me, and I appreciate it immensely. Thank you, and have wonderful rest of your days or nights. Bye, everybody.